Okay, welcome everyone to this our great community, the community of millionaires farmers. Uh, we believe that everybody has the capacity to do something great in the agriculture sector in Africa and in particular Cameroon. So I will be your host for tonight, uh, Baldwin. Yes, I prefer Baldwin because it's simple. So, as we have been talking about agriculture and in our community, we promise to share our first webinar where we will be looking into agriculture and how we can really invest in agriculture. I believe that there are great minds here, there are great people here. They understand a lot of things when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to farming. So this webinar is not going to be teaching us how to farm, but rather it will be giving us strategies and insight on how we can go about our investment in the agriculture sector. So this is the main reason why we are hosting this very particular webinar. And the inspiration for this community came from posts that I was sharing on Facebook and on LinkedIn because I did a series in 2025 on investing in agriculture. So that series was so great. A lot of people reacted on it and it was really rich. I decided to combine the posts into slides and also into an ebook of just 30 pages to equally share the information and share the knowledge with like-minded people who are interested in agriculture and who want to do great thing in the sector. So uh, that's how we birthed the Millionaires Farmers community. So today we are going to be focusing on investing in agribusiness. And I promise you that you should stay to the end of this program because you will learn a lot of things as far as agriculture is concerned and investing is being concerned. And again, I promise that at the end of this very session, we will equally share our uh, free book into the community so that people can download it. And I equally still promise that at the end, there will be good news. So please, let's stay to the end. So far, if you've been following up, please kindly indicate, please, kindly indicate with your tongue. Let's go. Okay, okay, good, good, good. So, uh, you realize that most agricultural ventures really fail. Most people, if you ask people that what is your experience with agriculture? They will say, I think agriculture is good, but I've lost a lot of money in agriculture. Some will say, I don't think agriculture is my thing. Some will say, I really hear that there is money in agriculture, but ever since I started investing in it, I've not really been able to get a return on investment. Some will say a lot of things. And this brings us to the question, why do most agricultural investment fail? Yeah. You- if you have been practicing agriculture, this particular point is going to those who have been practicing agriculture. You will understand that the problem is not really even the soil, nor the climate, nor the technologies that we're using, uh, nor even the workers that we have on the farm. But majority of our problem lies at the level that at the end of the day, the real money that we desire to make, despite the tons of things that we produced, we don't get to the money, maybe at the level of the market. Like people produced, but they don't sell. And sometimes they sell at prices very, very discouraging. But does it mean that we should stop investing in agriculture? I think no. I think no. And some people really do fail because they don't even have a business plan. They don't have no plan. If you ask them, do you even have a plan or an estimate on the project that you want to invest in? They don't truly have. And even if some do have, maybe they have a plan that is far from reality. Maybe you write a business plan, figures are so exciting. Uh, the reality is not really checked. Maybe something you just ask, maybe ChatGPT or an AI tool to develop a business plan. So these are some of the reasons why you see most of our investment fail in agriculture. And today we want to correct that because today it's all about investing in agriculture and knowing how to go about it. So at the end of the day, you will definitely have the right insight that will help you to take the right decisions to invest in agriculture or to optimize how you see investing in agriculture. So our presentation is going to be very smart and smooth. We are going to be looking at the mindset because as an investor, your mindset has to be checked. If you don't have the right mindset, it won't even go. Yeah. Those who have been running businesses, those who understand business, you will see that business centers around mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, it won't go, it won't work. So just as the book is being presented, this is how you see this investment pyramid, where we're starting from the bottom, going to the top. So we'll be looking at the mindset, the objective, the strategy. We're looking at the sites, the resources, the skills, which is divided into the foundations, the operational frameworks, the market, and definitely the revenue. So, boom. Looking at the foundation, you have to understand that agriculture multiplies what you plant, but only when you plant with intention. If you want to invest in agriculture and you don't have the right intentions, by intentions, I mean, if you don't have a focus, if you don't have a why, if you are investing in agriculture because you just want to prove a point, I believe that your why or your intentions needs a lot of scrutiny because that is not really something that motivate you. That will really be a motivating factor of investing in agriculture. But we have people who invest in agriculture because they see the opportunities in agriculture, because they want to they want to improve their community, they want to keep youth busy, and equally they want to make money. Because as for me, at the end of the day, what really drives me is because I get rewarded. Because if you don't get the reward, I think it's really discouraging, right? So your foundation has to be set. You have to have the right intentions. You have to understand that it's going to be a process. It's not a day job. It's not like you're just waking up and you want to just gamble. No, it's a whole process, and you have to have knowledge of self. You have to know more about you. It's not Bodwin who is going to be telling you that, hey, Akon, I believe you can do this. I believe you can do this. But I believe that Akon know himself and know that if he commits, he will definitely succeed, which goes back to the foundation, which go back to mindset. So the first thing, if you want to get it right in investing in agriculture, you have to get the right mindset. And it cuts across business because it's a business principle. You have to have the right mindset. Your foundation has to be set. So this is something we must understand. So if you're going to take any lesson from this aspect of foundation, as far as agriculture is concerned, understand that agriculture multiplies what you plant, but only when you plant with intention. So check your intentions, understand process, and know yourself. And this brings us to what I call know where you stand. You know, uh, people think that capital is really the all and all when it comes to business, but that's not it. I believe most of us who are in this meeting, we have actually, we do follow a lot of great figures who share a lot of information on business principles. It's the same thing in agriculture. The principles cut across. The disciplines or the sectors might change, but the principles are the same. Before you invest, there is something that I call the 6 dimensions check, which means that there are some 6 things that you have to check first before you can be investing in agriculture. We already talked about the foundation, which was your mindset. Have you really made up your mind that I have to invest in agriculture? Despite if I'm going in with a friend and the friend betrayed me, or despite if I have maybe a limited capital, but I believe that with the right knowledge, with the right systems, with the right strategies, I will succeed. Then it means that it's a tick. You give yourself a score there. Mindset, you're ready. Mindset, you're ready. You have to check your current resources. It's very important. There are some people that they don't get to reflect, they don't get to evaluate themselves, and they make decisions that at the end of the day, you see them weeping, you see them crying, and you see them actually talking bad about a sector where people do succeed in it. So are we going to be avoiding talking about the challenges that in the sector? No, we are focusing on what we can do so that we can succeed. Again, going to know yourself. We have liabilities and expenses. There are some people that when they enter into business, they don't understand, they don't respect the principles. Like, for example, maybe if I'm a high spender and I've decided to venture into business and I've chosen agriculture, I have to cut down on my expenses. I have to scrutinize how I'm going to be spending because part of my money is already allocated for business. So it means that I have to develop a different self character or a habit of reducing my expenses so that I can save up for my business. So in the book, you'll get to understand so much things as the 6 dimensions are concerned. And there's even a score on how you can evaluate yourself and you check yourself. So I won't go through all we have here so that we can go into more important things as this webinar is concerned. So one thing you have to understand is that from this start, resources doesn't equate to money alone. Time, knowledge, and relationships are also capital. big time in agriculture. And in agriculture, we will even say relationships, knowledge. You see these two things, they will take you far as an investor. They will really take you far. A relationship with your with the market, relationship with your workers, relationship with consultants. In fact, relationship with those around you, it will really take you far. I won't talk more on this because we have it coming up. So remember, in our pyramid, we are still at the foundation level where we're talking about having the right mindset, having the good objective. I believe majority of us here in this call, we have our various reasons why we joined the community. Like Mr. Waters earlier said, that he just want a community where we can share knowledge, we can share our ideas because he believes that everybody can learn from anyone, no matter who that person is. So each and every one of us in this community, in this particular Zoom meeting today, we have our various objectives why we join the community. Maybe some people join because they have been following me, seeing the amazing stuff that I've been doing in agriculture. Maybe some people are really following me that they want to really learn something new. Some people are really genuine, they want to learn something new. Maybe some people are just following that, hey, let me see what this guy can do and know if he's actually doing great. Yeah, those are just objectives. But I want to contextualize it in agriculture. If you are investing in agriculture, each and every one of us, we have our own personal objectives. Somebody might be investing because the person wants financial security. The way somebody who wants financial security will approach the process is different from someone who is investing in agriculture for community impact, will approach the process. And someone wants to build up capital to invest in another business because we have people who are always interested in other stuff and they want to see agriculture as a bridge where they can make some money and invest in their real businesses. We have people who want to invest in agriculture for family legacy. Majority of people in the diaspora, if you ask them, they always say, I want to do something back home. I want to keep a legacy. I believe I have to do something for my country. And this agriculture really resonate with me. And I think I can do something great with it. And some people invest for just personal goals, something just personal to them. Maybe they set the goal while they were still young that they will have to invest in agriculture or they'll have to do something with agriculture. Maybe their father told them, please take care of this land. Make sure if you don't lose the land, make sure you always keep the land in value. The value should always appreciate. It should always grow. Plant something here. I, we say seedlings, and some people say, Massa, I will talk in quotes in pidgin right now. Say, Massa, I dey just do the thing so because my pa be tell me say, ma, you fine for plant tree. So that one is just a personal goal. You want to fulfill something, but I believe each and every one of us in this call, we have our various reasons why we attended this meeting and why we're still here. So context contextualize it to your journey in investing in agriculture. Your objectives has to be very clear. Why? Because if your objectives are not clear, it will be difficult for you to follow on the other processes because it is a whole process. Investing in agriculture is a whole process. And if you really follow up this slide and see how the slides are changing, you will understand that it's a really step-by-step process that we're taking from one step to another, starting from mindset. Now we're still going to looking at our objectives after rating ourselves if actually we are investment ready. We are ready to invest because somebody might just hear about a crop which earns very well, like now that ginger is trending, and say, ah, Masa, I want plant ginger. No, your objectives have to be very clear. If they are clear, you will make the right decisions, and it's the foundation of winning. Are we there so far? Are we following up? If you are following up, just write in the chat box. Yes. Okay, okay. Good, 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 good. So this brings us to what I term the horizons. Agriculture, you have to think in horizons. You have to think in timelines. Uh, it's not like you just decided I have to do this. No, agriculture demand that discipline for you to understand that it's time, just as business. People who really go into to building real businesses, they understand that it's going to take them time. Sometimes they even think in decades. And if you're investing in agriculture, you have to think in horizons. Why? Because it will help you to know how you'll be allocating your resources. It will help you to know how you'll be choosing the things that you want to invest in. Because agriculture is broad. If you want to be discussing agriculture, your agriculture is very broad. So these frameworks help us to be able to make the right decisions for ourselves. But if you just get up one day without having a knowledge of how timelines work in agriculture, your decisions might be the one that you will cry at the end of the day. So understand the horizons. What do I mean by that? In agriculture, whether you are doing livestock or you are doing crop production or even processing, time matters. We have crops, we have animals that within 2 to 3 months, you can make some good catch from them. We have those in which I term them the medium term, in which it takes about 9 months and above. And we have the long term, and we have the legacy. So if you are taking if you are thinking in times or in timelines or in horizons, you are saying this decision that I'm going to make today, how is this decision going to affect me? Like for example, I can say, Mr. Benjamin, you want to invest in agriculture. Now, if you're not aware about timeline, tell me, is it possible that uh you'll be patient enough to wait for 5 years before you can pluck a fruit on an avocado tree that you planted? I believe you won't have the patience. You will say that about this thing's bullshit, man. I thought I would just this thing can really just give me some good money, and I put my money into this thing. It's not gambling. You have to understand timeline because it will help you to choose to make the best decisions. It will help you to choose the right crops. And it goes back to your objectives, which means that if your investing objectives are not clear, it will be difficult for you to know which particular timeline to actually start up with. Someone who has capital and wants to build a legacy business, the person will not bother about medium-term and long-term crops. And short-term crops or short-term animals. That's not the primary goal, though they may associate that along the way. But it's not a primary goal. The primary objective is the long term, which is the legacy. Maybe planting of avocado trees, planting of pear trees, planting of plum trees, planting of soursop, planting of bitter kola, and so many other things that we can list and we name. Planting of cocoa. You know, these are some of the things that we have to understand. If we don't understand them well, it will be difficult for us to make the right decisions.
Sì, è un numero opposto.
Uh,
Aspetti, facciamo parte. Andiamo a fare.
so it will be difficult for us to make the right decisions. Please, can you hear me? Okay. So let's wrap up with Horizon so that we don't waste most of our time. Okay, thank you, thank you. Yes, let's wrap up with Horizons. Horizon is just to give us a context here, a framework that you have to think in horizons. Don't be discouraged. Uh, don't look at what A is doing and you want to do what A is doing without understanding it. You might desire to do what A is doing because you understand it, you know the in and out of it, and you doing what A is doing because you understand it very well and you understand that it's a timeline. So if you're going to learn anything from this particular uh, uh, framework about time horizons, you have to understand that your timeline is shaped by three things: your objectives, your financial situation, and your willingness to adapt. Yeah. So if you must learn something from here, this should be this particular thing. Yeah. Okay. This brings us to another framework. Remember, we are talking about frameworks here. Yeah. This brings us to another framework, understanding risks. You can't talk about business and you ignore risks. It will really be bullshit. It will be as if we are crazy. So maybe it's your first time to invest because we have people who are really invest. We have people who invest in agriculture without any prior knowledge of about business. They don't know how business function. They don't know about market research. They don't know about risks. They don't know about pricing. They just go into it because they see other going into it or because they hear people making money from it. So this framework wants to debunk that mindset of just jumping into something because you hear people talking about it. You have to understand your risk tolerance. Can you tolerate risks, especially risks that is calculated? Because we are talking about investment here. We're talking about business. So everything is calculated. Everything is intentional. And taking agriculture, you understand that the risks also follow a particular pattern. There are some decisions or objectives that you will make that will really be less risky. There are some that will really be risky, but not that way too risky. And we have some that will be very, very risky. Like, for example, let's take, there was this guy in Uganda, he, he closed a deal, that's a contract farming deal to farm moringa leaves for an international market. But you know what? When the moringa was actually ready, they did their first supply, their second supply, and their third supply didn't go. The company just sent them an invoice, a notification that we are sorry, we can't buy your moringa anymore because we already have so much stock here and we have run into some situations that we didn't foresee in our business. That is how that guy lost everything and really started building or developing different products in moringa. But you see, the risk was really very high because that's something imagine the African market. Moringa is common everywhere. Very few people will pay attention in buying moringa, despite the health benefit of it. But the crop has high risks, but it has high market value, high profit, because it's an international market, export market. But the funny thing is that it's something that it's already known locally and it's not highly consumed locally. So you see, we have to understand risks. We have to understand our choices so that we can be able to evaluate them based on risks. Like for example, uh, someone who is doing cocoa, who is doing coffee, who is doing goats, who is doing cattle, their risks is really understandable. Those are local, those are things that the market is readily available. Yeah, those are things that the market is readily available, and you are sure that you say, though for this our international crops, the crops that have international market like cocoa, coffee, and yeah, especially cocoa and coffee, the prices are being determined by the international market. We have no say about it. But if you move into crops like plantain, cocoyam, uh, and talking about animal, normally cattle, goats, pigs, fowls, those are normal things that we consume. Yeah, they have the local market. So what I'm trying to make here as a point on this framework of risks is that be able to uh, assess your risk tolerance with respect to the choice of what you want to invest in. And even if you're going into processing, can you bear the risks of maybe wrong supply of the standard quality that you always use in doing your processing? If you want to do aggregation, like buy and sell 'em, are you ready to withstand the risks of you just sending maybe your goods to Kusiri in Chad, and you hear that the trailer subsided on the way and everything was being destroyed, and you are still ready to do the next shipping? So these are some of the things that we have to understand. If you cannot bear that type of risks, you will basically prefer that let me just grow the thing, and I set my worst case scenario for my prices and I deliver, because agriculture is a complete value chain. So across the value chain, the risk is also different across the value chain. So these are some of the things that as an investor, you must understand them, because if you do not understand them, you will have high chances of failing, and failing to the point that you won't want to even hear about agriculture. So let's pay attention to this. And if we must learn anything here, is that agriculture does not punish risks. It punishes on examine risks, which means that examine your risks, examine your choice of crop, examine the choices that you're making to invest in agriculture. So this brings us to what this framework of investing, uh, the investing decision. Basically, in this call, I don't want to conclude, but I will say in this call, we have expert, because I can see experts here, and we have guided investors. The scenario is that a guided investor is someone that even if you are knowledgeable about agriculture, maybe you are very good with plantain, you are good with cocoa, but you have no clue about livestock, and you want to venture into livestock because you have actually accumulated enough capital from your crop. You are a guided investor, which means that you will need someone to guide you, give you some real knowledge, some reality behind the scene that you will Google or you will watch YouTube videos, you won't see. Pay your local setting. And we have another set of guided investors who are people that they have no idea about agriculture, but they have the instinct in them, the desire in them that I want to really invest in agriculture. I want to do something in agriculture, but they have no clue about it. This is another category of guided investors. But you know what? Your investing decisions will always be perfect, or let me say right, if you work with a professional who gives you the insight and the scope on how agriculture can be done and how you can invest in agriculture. And you see, if you have been following up the slides from right off from slide one to this one, you will understand that it's a whole process. Mindset, which is the foundation, uh, self-evaluation within the six dimensions of evaluating yourself, looking at your investing objective, looking at the timeline, your risk tolerance. Now you can decide to make a decision that I'm going to invest in agriculture because I understand the clue, I understand the basics. Because if you must win, if you must succeed, it's the basics. It's the basics. Mr. Waters really said that if that we have people who have degrees and they cannot do anything in agriculture, and we have people who have just basic education and they are making millions in agriculture. It's a fact. So you see, knowledge is a gap, but in this our area, knowledge is no longer a gap because if you have capital or if you have the mindset that you want to invest, you will do it if you follow through the processes. So uh, your decisions, if you want to make decisions in agriculture, especially if you are a guided investor, if you fall under part two, the path, the second path, make sure you always get a consultant to review, or so anyone that you admire would who is actually winning in agriculture with real figures. Yes, ask them that this man, I want you to invest in agriculture, but I don't give me any idea about the team. With this, you just imagine that with this framework that we have just studied today, you can be able to approach, you make the right decisions, you make the right research, and even if the person just give you just the technical know-how, you can follow up with your market because we have people that uh, we help us or consultant promise them that I have the market already, so just do what I say, and at the end when we will harvest, just call me, they will buy. And at the end of the day, you put in all your effort. And when it comes to the market, no market. So this framework is to make sure you make the right decision. Make sure you follow a particular pattern because it's something from 10 years of experience. And it's also something from accumulated 20 years of experience because I'm not just the only one who developed this framework. I have my colleague here, Engineer Edwin, and another colleague that we put the framework together to help people have the right mindset when it comes to investing in agriculture. So make informed decisions. This is what this framework is all about. Make informed decisions. Don't just hear about a particular thing and you just move into it. Boom. No. And this brings us to this framework, the invisible capital. Human skills. Many people call it soft skills, but I believe it's human skill. You would be questioning me, why is this guy talking about human skill? We want to start seeing that invest in tomato or invest in Irish potato or invest in cocoa, invest in plantain, invest in pigs. These things will give you money. No, It's already out there. Why you need we need the right frameworks. We need the right knowledge. We need the right systems, the right blueprints. If we can follow them, we can succeed in anything that you want to do in agriculture. That's why we always quote that any crop is profitable, any animal is profitable, any move in agriculture is profitable. You just have to understand where you are going all in. So the invisible capital is where most people fail in agriculture. This framework is very important. Many people fail because they undervalue human skill. So you are an investor. Take yourself as an investor. You have to evaluate yourself on these six things. They are very important. These six human skills. Communication. Can I communicate my vision well to a consultant who can understand it and gives me the right business plan, or they give me the right business judgment? Can I communicate my idea well to those, to my employees? Communication is key. Even those of us who are experts or who are professionals in the sector, we don't joke with communication. It's very important. If you are choosing, because we'll be talking about choosing the site or the location for your business, right? Because you're not going to be investing in air, though there are possibilities where you can invest through someone. But you have to understand that if you are, imagine you don't know French, you don't understand anything about French, and your mindset towards learning, towards language learning, it's not really that fair. You won't want to come to Betua or to go to a Bolowa to do farming. How are you going to interact with the local community? How are you going to interact with the local labor that you get there? So you will see that communication here as a human skill will help you to make the right choice, especially when it comes to choosing where you want to do your investment. It's very important. You have to have empathy because you are dealing with humans, people that they have to either be working under sun, they have to be working under harsh conditions. The conditions are not fair. It's not like someone who works in an AC office. No. So you have to have empathy. Then you should be able to persuade people. Sometimes people get tired. They get bored doing a particular activity over and over. But the only thing is that you have to persuade them. The- uh, these are the things that many investors fail to understand, and they end up crying. Human skills are very important. Delegation. Hmm? This one I will hit hard on professionals here. You will just delegate tasks on the farm without even asking that this tax, how sensitive is it? Imagine you are sending somebody to inject to inject your pigs, maybe just a normal farm worker, without giving without actually teaching that person on how to do it. Or maybe you just delegate tasks that is very sensitive because you are lazy. No, we should learn to delegate, but we should learn to give the right delegations, because there are some delegations that are being made just out of laziness. And at the end of the day, if something happens, you will start the blame game. As an investor, it will not help you. It will not help you. And this also goes to, even if you have workers on the farm and you have maybe you're doing some monitoring and evaluation, or maybe you are hosting sessions where you talk on your workers. These are some of the things that you can actually emphasize on. This particular slide, yes, this particular slide is very important. It's chapter 6 in that ebook, that free book is chapter 6. It's very important. You can even use it to talk with your workers. You can to teach them on this very particular human skills, because human skills are very important. we will move into adaptability. Business is all about adaptability. We have like now there are current prices where people are crying about maize. You have to learn how to adapt. Climate change is coming up. There's you, agriculture, you have zero control. Though with technology now, still with technology, you will still do your weather analysis or even crop analysis on the farm. But what comes up still comes up based on how nature wants to react on it. So you have to be adaptable. This goes back to mindset. Yes, you have to be adaptable. Learn how to adapt on situations. This is very important. Please, are we following up? Are we following up? Or I'm just entertaining myself? Please, let me see you. If you're following up, say following up. Wow. Good, 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 good. So I will talk on consultancy. This framework is very important, but I won't overemphasize on it because the cost of expert guidance is a fraction of the cost of a failed agricultural season. You don't have to be stingy. You have to understand that building a business that will be making you millions, you have to also sacrifice to make sure you get you get the right guidance. Even if it means that the first consultant that you hired didn't uh, do the work well or didn't give you the right ideas or the right frameworks for you to follow to succeed. But don't give up on consultancy, especially if you are new. If you're starting new, don't give up on consultancy. It's very important. In the book, I've actually talked about it, how you can go about identifying a good consultant because we are in an internet war now. Well, we are in a global war now. The war is a global village in which the internet is the village square. So everybody is an expert now in the village square. So yeah, there are some frameworks that I put in the book that will help you to know if uh, this consultant can give me what I want. So we won't emphasize on this so that we can catch up with our time because we are really getting almost late. Yeah, so pay attention to consultancy. Then resource allocation. This framework is very simple. Now you see that we are almost moving on into some real things now, practical things. Uh, Resource allocation is very important. We already talked about investing objectives. We talked about investment timelines, the horizons, in which we talk about three core things that the right decisions that you will make will be based on your objectives, will be based on your financial strength. This is very important because it will help you to know how you are going to allocate your resources. Now, knowing yourself, knowing your source of wealth, knowing how your strategy on how you are going to approach the process in investing. Are you going to be using your savings? Are you going to be using uh income? Maybe you already have a business that is generating you money and you want to use it. Are you going to be using credit? Are you going to maybe take credit from your friends or your loved ones or your family members or from the bank? Or are you going to be going with the partnership strategy? These are some of the things you have to consider. So you don't have to be afraid of investing in agriculture because these are some other ways in which you can distribute your capital and you see that instead of investing 10 or 20 100% with partnership, you get to reduce it. So this framework is to help us to understand that we can start from somewhere if we can do the right allocations of resources. If we plant our resources, and one thing, if you are planning to invest in agriculture and allocating your resources, there should be one for unforeseen circumstances. Many investors don't understand, get to misunderstand this, especially people who are coming new into. But I understand that majority of us here, we are business people, and reserves must always be there, at least 15 to 20%. If not, things do happen and they might along the way cause you to instead lost almost everything that you labored for in building. So allocate your resources well. Now this comes to the choosing the right site, in which I already mentioned your objectives. What do you want to produce? What do you want to invest in? Are you going to invest on primary production? If primary production, which of the sector? Is it going to be crop? Is it going to be animal? If it's going to be crop, which of the crops am I going to be investing in? This is homework that you must do as an investor. If you don't do it, it will be difficult for you to make the right choice of land. Don't reach out to an engineer or a consultant and you start explaining to them about land you have already bought and you don't know what to do with the land. Buy the land that you already know that this land, I'm buying this land for this particular purpose. It will serve you, and it will be very easy for you to develop that project, that land into a full project that will earn you millions. So choosing the right site is very important. And these are some of the blueprints or some of the formats that you can consider. In agriculture, if you reach out to any person, the person will tell you that make sure there is farm to market road, the distance from where you want to set up that project to the market. Can you afford? Can you afford it? Water resources. Is there water around that area? Because there's nothing agriculture that you will do without water. Water is a necessity. Labor availability. You are not going to be the one to be doing all the activities on the farm, especially if you are coming in as a big investor. So you have to be checking about labor. Don't choose a site to invest just because maybe it's you just like the place. No, there's no pity party in business. Everything is intentional. Everything is decision based, following frameworks. So pay attention to these things. And the last one to consider when you're choosing a site is the topography. The topography of an area is not really just uh, geography here. As an investor, how fast you develop your project is also a factor determined by the topography of your of your site. So please, the right site is matched to your crop, market, budget, and objectives, not the cheapest one. Take note of this. Take note of this. Don't just buy cheap land and at the end of the day, you abandon the land. At the end of the day, you plant crops, they are doing well. You find it difficult to take them to the market because the roads are bad. Choosing the right site. Let me give you a tip. For example, if you are buying farmland, source them in the raining season, especially in the deep raining season. Source them at that moment. Why? Because it gives you a perfect understanding of that place, of the roads. Don't go in the dry season and they are saying the road na fine road. You are happy that yes, the road fine, the road fine. But in the rainy season, when you be move, when you enter into production, you find it very difficult for you to produce, for you to bring your produce to the marketplace because you didn't evaluate that. And at the end of the day, you say, Masa, I really made a very wrong decision to buy this place. No, please, these frameworks that we are sharing today is to enable you to make the right decision so that your first move should be a move that will lead to success, not a move that will lead to regret. So don't buy cheap land because it's just cheap. And then this is just a framework on how you can do your choices. Remember, we talked about choosing the right site. Now we're talking about the development of that place based on your objective. We spoke about crop, animal. We spoke about the timelines. It's the same thing with the crop investment matrix. You have to understand that there are crops that have high profit with low market, not no market, with low market. There are ones that have low profit, low market. There are ones that have high profit, ready market, and there are ones that have low profit, ready market. So it's just love on you to choose based on your objective, based on your self-evaluation, based on your entry points. So in the book, when you'll be reading, pay attention to this very particular chapter because there are some tips that I share there that will help you to choose the right crop or the right livestock or even the right thing to do if you're doing processing or aggregation. Yeah. This brings us to the framework of timing, process, mindset. You have to understand that agriculture is a process. It's dependent on time. It requires you to be disciplined. The time that you have to spray, you have to spray. The time that you have to treat your animals, you have to treat your animals. If you do land preparation in the wrong season, you will get the wrong result. Even if you struggle to get the right result, it will either be very costly. And as an investor, every franc matters, right? So let's understand that it's going to demand discipline. You have to be disciplined. Agriculture is a business, not a backup plan. Also understand that every crop is profitable. You just need the right system. Every animal is profitable. You just need the right system. Every move based on good market research is profitable. You just need the right system. Soil does not discriminate. So it multiplies what you plant. This is very important. This framework is also very important. Very, very important. So if you are joining this now, I promise that at the end, we will drop the recorded session so that you can go over it again and stay to the end so that we can hear the good news, which is actually coming up. So let's move on to what I term the agribusiness success flywheel. So at the end of the day, if you have the right strategy, the right objective, if you do good market research, if your choice of crop is really based on your objectives and your intentions, or your choice of animal, or whatever thing that you want to invest in agriculture, if you do the right allocation of resources, if you do the right allocation of resources, if you execute effectively, you definitely harvest, you definitely reap. And if you reap, you make profit, right? If you reap, you make profit. Because along all the way, through all this process, is money being spent. So at the end of the day, you calculate that money in, money out. From there, you get your income, you get your profit. And that's where many people get inspired the most. So I love investing in agriculture because it's a great business. It's a reality. If if you know you are worth this, you are worth it because it's real. Yeah, it's very real. But you have to understand all what it takes. And you also have to understand that if you are building a legacy in agriculture, it will demand so much from you. It will demand you even reinvest. It will demand you to scale. I'm actually talking now to those who have started because we have people here who own hectares upon hectares of land. So pay attention to what you are building. We have the frameworks. I will share the ebook. It's very I summarize everything very well summarized. The information that you need, the right information, just 30 pages. And we will say just 27 pages. Yes, you can even savor it this night. Get to understand it. And at the end of the day, if you have already started, do a self-audit. Audit yourself. Know if you are ready to complete the task that you have started. Try to check some of the loopholes so that you can feed them up. Remember, it's a continuous learning process. It's a process. Investing in agriculture is a process, and it's always a continuous process, especially for those who want to build legacy in it. So I want to say thank you, everyone, for joining and staying up to this moment. These are just frameworks, and as I promise, I will share the link where you can get the ebook. So after going through the ebook, we will host another session here, which is just question and answer session, where you're going to be asking anything that you don't understand, as long as investing in agriculture is concerned. It's a whole journey. We can't finish it on just a single Zoom meeting like this one. I think this meeting has even gone right up to uh 1 hour, 11 minutes. Meanwhile, it was just stationed for 1 hour. So we can't exhaust everything. There's so much that we can share. So this is just a tip of the amazing things that will be happening in the Millionaires Farmers community. So we plan to be hosting weekly Zoom meetings where we can start handling case studies. So this framework is just a foundation. Yeah, it's just a foundation of the amazing things that we will have. So we want to make sure that our next meeting or our next discussion, people should be aware of all that we are building in the community. So make sure immediately I drop the link, you click, you get the book. It's actually free, very rich content. Yeah, it's actually free, very rich content. Then next week again, we do another meeting because we are intentional. We want to create more millionaires farmers. Yes, those of you who want you need maybe guidance on how to choose the right crop. Maybe you need guidance on where to do the right to the right crop, the right site selection where you can actually do your projects, because we are talking about investing in agriculture, but actually it's projects. Yes. Anything you are doing in agriculture, we just classify them under projects. So whatever project that you want to do, if you need clarity, if you need any information, I believe this community is the community where you will get it, because here we have engineers, we have people, or we have farmers with experience, and we also have even investors with experience. So along the way, we'll be bringing people here that they will be sharing their journey as they go about their activity investing in agriculture. So it's a whole lot of a community which is not just going to end today. Yeah. So we're going to build this community to the point where we will be proud to call ourselves millionaires farmer, because some of us are already millionaires farmers, and we don't want to keep that knowledge, because I believe that uh Mr. Akon, imagine if they ask you to supply Bamenda, the whole of Bamenda with tomato, you alone. Yeah, it's not impossible, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of strategy. It's a lot of infrastructure building. It's a lot of logistics. It's a lot of systems. So when people say many people are already planting this particular crop, this one will happen, this one will happen, don't be afraid. If you go through this framework the right way, with an open mind, I believe your journey in investing in agriculture will be one of the best. Yes, will be one of the best. So let me not overtalk. Thank you so much for staying and learning alongside with me. So I will open room for questions. If you have questions, you can ask. Yes, if you have questions, you can ask. Please, let's we will do it in a coordinated way. So if you have a question that you want to ask or a contribution that you want to make, you can just raise your hand, then I will mute you.
Top of my to-do list is check the
So
candidates
that's
for
how
our
we're going to follow. Yeah, question, please, question. I will stop the recording session now. Yeah.
Responses are usually quick, and I use my Indeed employer account to keep track of everything. And now back to my real job.